Good evening and welcome to our first parade preview show for 2013. My name is Pete Marchetti. I serve as the president of the parade committee, and tonight we are looking to give you a preview of the 2013 parade and give you an idea of the collaboration and the work that goes in putting together the 4th of July parade. So I'm going to kind of call it a life in the day of the parade. We're going to go a couple of different things. I want to start the show out with one big announcement, and we're going to end the show with one big announcement. But we're going to start out the show with the announcement of the 2013 Honorary Grand Marshal for the 4th of July Parade. And this year, the Parade Committee is pleased to announce that for the 2013 Honorary Grand Marshal, that person or that honor goes to Mike Joyce from the Oldies But Goodies gang. We've teamed up with the Oldies But Goodies gang this year to put together a fundraiser to help coordinate the parade fundraising events. And so it's our honor to have the Oldies But Goodies gang trailing the parade with us at the end of the parade and doing a tribute to Mike Joyce. Now, this time, we're going to start out the first segment of the show with the life and the day of the parade. And I know that people have heard me speak many times about what it's like to be a life in the day of the parade, but instead, I think it's more important for folks to hear other people who are the people behind the scenes who really make me look good every year doing this stuff. So tonight's going to highlight the people behind the scenes that really help make the parade come together. So first, I'm going to introduce to my far left, Dennis Burke, who serves as the balloon coordinator for the 4th of July parade. Good evening, Dennis.
Hi, Pete.
Next to Dennis is Becky Teft, who serves as co-coordinator of the float. Good evening, Beck.
Hi, Pete.
And to my immediate left, Dick Murphy, who serves as our veteran coordinator for the parade. And I thought it would be a good idea to just have a conversation with you guys. And I know I probably spent more hours on TV and radio than these guys all combined, so we got to bear with these guys a little bit because they're a little bit more nervous than I am. But let's start with you, Dennis. Tell me, in the grand scheme of things, you know, everyone thinks we just show up on parade morning and put on a parade. But you know, what are you doing in the beginning of December, beginning of January, when you're really trying to put the parade balloon aspect of the parade together?
Well, I start off first contacting the balloon companies. There's actually more balloon companies than you would think, and I contact them to make sure they're still around, they're still interested in putting in a bid, and I start taking bids on that. And this year our helium company sold off their helium division, so I had to look a little harder for helium. And you know, it usually starts, like you said, January, and it just doesn't stop from there.
And what time do you start on the morning of the 4th?
Well, usually I try to get up there about 5:30, 6 o'clock, because they send me on a donut run.
Got to have your coffee and donuts for the morning of the parade, folks. Thanks, Dennis. Becky, let's have a conversation about what are you doing in mid-December or beginning of January?
Well, we go through our previous float participants, and we go through those to see who we invite and who we want to invite back, and we always invite everybody and encourage more participation from year to year. So we just look over the list, and if we see any more community groups or organizations that we think would like to participate, we also contact them.
Thanks, Becky. And then last but not least, Dick has the honor of really taking care of the men and women who have taken care of our country for the longest period of time. And Dick coordinates all our veterans organizations and makes sure that we do a tribute to our military on parade morning. So talk to me about what you do in December and January.
I do basically what Becky said about coordinating with the groups, making sure the address is correct, the points of contact correct. I also start working on something that hasn't happened in the last couple of years, and that's a flyover. Last year it was a deployment of the unit. They were in Afghanistan, and this year it was a sequester. I had to fly over for 2 weeks, lost it.
Well, then at least that's a popular question that we get asked every year. Is there a flyover? We can tell everyone the answer to that is no at this stage of the game. I think we all can say the same thing about what it's like on the morning of the parade, but you know, it just doesn't start on the morning of the parade. It's the days leading up to the parade. So, Dennis, what are some of the tasks that you need to make sure that you have done prior to parade morning to make sure that the parade's successful?
Well, the biggest thing is coordinating the people to carry the balloons down the street. And this year I'm short, so we can put in a little plug to get more people. Anybody wants to volunteer, they can call the parade phone number. And I don't know what it is, 447.
447-7763.
Good. That was a good plug. But it's getting the people together is the biggest thing, because the balloon companies, they're professionals, and they bring it together, and they help a lot. No.
Then morning of the parade.
Morning of the parade. Just running back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. Back and forth again.
Making sure the helium truck is here.
The helium truck here. That's coordinated the day before. I get the driver's phone number, and it's always a big worry, you know, if they're not there. So as soon as that truck pulls up, that's a big load off. And then, like I said, the people, getting the people coordinated, getting them. They're standing in a hot parking lot sometimes for a couple hours, so I gotta, you know, we supply water, we get them, you know, hydrated, keep them hydrated, and get them down the parade route, because that's you know, that's what it's all about, getting everybody down, having fun.
Now, Becky, you have probably a tougher task, because just doing floats doesn't mean that people show up morning of the parade to do floats. So what are the things that we're doing as a committee to organize everything for the floats, so that come parade morning everybody can have a fun time and still do what they're supposed to do?
Sure, that's a great question. Well, there's quite a bit that we have to do as float organizers. And for one, we have to send out the applications. And then when we get the initial application in, we have to review it and make sure that they're actually going to be a float. And then we have to make sure that they get the descriptions back to us for the reviewing stand when the PCTV and the announcers are reviewing the parade as it goes by, and then the rules, and then, but the biggest thing is the measurements as well. And then we coordinate and organize float seminars, because there's a lot of requirements and regulations that floats need to adhere to. So we need to make sure that everyone attends a float seminar, because there's a lot of safety issues, especially with fire as well.
And I think this year we've already had 5 float seminars, and probably end up going to be pulling off one last-minute float seminar next Wednesday night for the few organizations that still have not yet made it to the float seminar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dick, you know, I started out by saying you probably have the most special spot, because we're paying a tribute to our area veterans. Give me an idea of what it's like, because yours is probably the easier task. It's getting people to show up the morning of the parade. But tell me what it's like on Lower Wendell Ave the morning of the parade, when our veterans are arriving for the parade.
Well, basically what happens is I get there at 5:30, 6 o'clock, put out the stakes, which will tell each one of the units where they're going to line up. And then I have 2 other people to help me, and we check in the units as they come in, make sure they're there. Usually have to go into the Legion somewhere around 9:30 or so and get the rest of them out. A bunch of them like to be in the Legion for a while. And then once we get everybody lined up, and after that I go work with the merge on Wendell and East Houstonic Street, and merge everybody in together.
And I think that's probably another fascinating point to touch on, because just the other day I was doing another outreach show, and we're having a conversation, and the person who was interviewing me was saying, well, don't you just line up all the people from 1 to 177 and they just march down the street? And I think that's another part that folks really need to know, is that the 50 or 60 parade committee members that are showing up on parade morning are scattered out over about a 4 or 5 block radius, all with their own tasks, all doing their own work, minding their own business, and getting their particular street organized, and really little communication with anybody else in the parade. And then all of a sudden it becomes that magic hour of 9:45, and we start loading up East Houstonic Street for the parade, and each of us has our part to make sure that everything's in order. So for those folks that really don't know, we talked about the merge. we all have a certain place in the merge that we're trying to maneuver the parade together so that it comes down the street in the order that we have already advertised through the parade booklet that the parade will be going down the street. And so how hectic can that be the morning of the parade, guys?
Oh, it can be very hectic. On South Street, which we call Float Street, we have to measure each unit, and each unit has a number. So when the parade kicks off, we have to closely follow, along with Pete, which number is when, and then we have to keep the line of floats moving and keep creeping up, so then we can help Pete pull the right unit out at the right time.
And basically what happens where I'm standing on the intersection of Wendell and East Houstonic Street, there's the veterans on Upper Wendell Avenue. Lower Wendell Avenue has the bands and all the musical units. And coming down East Houstonic Street will be the fire and the community groups. And I have a piece of paper in front of me with the number and which one's next. And I'm standing there going, you, you're next, you're next, you're next. And shove them on off the Pete.
I usually have to gather people scattered about the parking lot and get them all together to start moving up to merge in at South Street. And you know, it's difficult too because people are trying to see, and it's you know, it gets closed in, so you got to keep pushing people back. So it's a constant vigilance, you know, all the time.
And I think one of the good things that will, in the second part of the show, we're going to really turn to PCT, and we're going to start showing the similarities of what happens between us as members of the parade committee and PCT as a community organization that's there for us as our partner to make sure that all the folks that can't make it to the parade or choose not to make it downtown to the parade can watch. But it sounds like, even though we all have day jobs, July 3rd, we're all running around planning and organizing and getting stuff ready. And then 4th of July, most of us are up before we normally would be up to go to work to make it downtown to put on a parade. And then, you know, it's 11:45, and it's that great time. We all feel wonderful that we've finished the parade, and we're marching by the review and stand, and we're waving to all our friends at PCT. You know, hey, how's it going? We're done. And we kind of laugh, and they go, shit, yeah, you think you're done. Well, we still got hours of unpacking to do, but yet we still have the same thing, because as the parade committee passes the review and stand, we still have another good 45 minutes of marching the parade to finish up. And then you guys, we have work to do post-parade. And so I think that's another important part of, you know, post-parade, what needs to happen. And I'll let you guys all chime in on your little task on post-parade.
It's kind of forgotten in just about anything you do is what happens next.
Right.
And you pick up the, you know, you have to pick up the banners. You have to get back up and pick up the cones that are in the road. You have to open, you know, people want to use these streets. Right. So we got to get cleaned up and ready to go.
Right, Dennis touched upon the cones. We put the numbers in the cones, so we have to take out the numbers of the cones, and then we have to pile the cones back up so it's easier for the highway guys to come and pick them up. We just have to make sure that the banners are in place, and later we roll them up and get them back ready for storage.
Yeah, and on the side streets, you pick up the numbers where the units marched up, and then at the end of the parade, go back and make sure the street's clean. Mm-hmm. Usually the participants are pretty good about that, but just make sure that they pick up anything that's been left behind.
I think one last thing about parade time, and then, I mean, after all, this is a parade preview show, so we should really talk for a few minutes about what people can expect to see the morning of the 4th. But what do we all do on July 5th?
Crash.
Yeah.
Sleep in, rest.
and I think when we talk to our friends at PCT, we're going to get the same answer from them as well. So, you know, this is parade preview show. So, Dennis, give the folks an idea of some of the balloons that they're going to see parade morning, and the different types of balloons that they're going to see parade morning, because we've been experimenting over the last couple of years and putting out new stuff.
We try to get, you know, more bang for the buck. So we've got a 48-foot Muppet character, the animal, and that's going to go down the street. And it's difficult to go through the trees, but the people have fun carrying them around. We started doing cold air balloons last year, which cuts back on the helium which is a whole other story in itself. But the cold air balloons, we've got Angry Birds and a pig this year, and I don't know the significance of the pig, but we have it. And
I got a lesson on the Angry Birds. I can tell you.
Did you?
Enough.
The birds attack the pig.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
It's we've got some costumes this year, and again this year we had last year we had 3 pigs and we had Wizard of Oz characters, and the people just have fun. You put people in them and their character changes, and it's just going down entertaining. It's just getting as much entertainment as we can.
And then this year, probably for the first time in a very long time, the parade committee is going to be bringing up the rear, not only with the Oldies but Goodies gang, but with our own balloon this year.
Our national monument that, if you read the Berkshire Eagle in This Day in History, it was this week that they delivered the Statue of Liberty to the New York Harbor this week in 18-something. Do you know? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't
But it was a good thing to know.
There.
So Becky, an idea of some of the floats that folks will see.
Well, we will have Johnny Appleseed, and Berkshire Rolling and Sculling is having one this year. We will have one from the Knights of Columbus, and I believe I've heard rumors that we will have Old Faithful on one of the floats with water squirting up from Old Faithful. So that will be a really cool sight to see.
Okay, and very quickly, Dick, what can we expect to see from Veteran Street? And then we're going to take a few-minute intermission and change some chairs around and get ready for part 2 of the show.
Right now we have on Veteran Street 19 different units, which includes the VFW, the American Legion, and a bunch of different others from here, and a few from New York. And there's also some veterans groups that are on Float Street now. We'll have floats of their own, so there'll be quite a good turnout for veterans.
All right, well, that brings us to the conclusion of segment 1. There's still 2 more segments of Parade Preview Live from downtown Pittsfield for Third Thursday coming up. While we're changing seats, I know that the PCT folks are very clever, and you're going to see some footage of the very first parade that PCT covered in coordination with the Pittsfield Parade Committee. So we'll be back in a few minutes, folks.
Good morning. The annual 4th of July parade is being brought to you by the Pittsfield Community Cable Broadcasting Company. I am Dan Dillon, and I have here with me Ed Riley, the Executive President.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the initial broadcast on Pittsfield's Community Cable Channel. And we hope to bring you many more exciting and interesting events in the near future.
The annual 4th of July parade comes to you live from Park Square. Your hosts for this great event are Ray Pulver, Matt McKeever, with special commentary by Tom Kitterman.
We have units coming along right now. Beautiful crowd, fantastic weather.
It is super.
Can't miss, huh?
And I think we probably should shoot down onto the parade and see what's coming at us right now.
Okay, that sounds good.
Up now we have the Village Volunteers, Ancient Fife and Drum Corps from Del Mar, New York. This is the lead unit for this year, the musical unit. It's their 6th appearance in the parade, and they've won numerous Fife and Drum Awards from throughout the state of New York.
Village Volunteers, one of 20 musical units that will be appearing in our parade today. As they head off First Street.
And of course, Crown Jewelers, one of our parade sponsors.
And they're going to be bringing us the Pittsfield Police Department Honor Guard. And there they are.
Sharply looking unit.
Very nice. And immediately following the Honor Guard, the first woman mayor of the city of Pittsfield. She was voted in last November. And this, of course, is Mayor Ann Wachowski. There's Ann.
There she is. Looks like she's having a lot of fun.
Very nice. Hi. Yeah,
I think she has some family members in the car with her
I
there.
think so. Our mayor, Ann Wachowski. Some Beautiful day out here. It's about 83 degrees, and we're on E Street, just east of Park Square.
And
coming along.
Up next, we have the Pittsfield City Council.
Right. Getting a little exercise this morning.
There's Cynthia Betters.
Right. Sure you can hear them coming along right now. Oh, yeah. Ray, would you know how many fire companies are appearing today?
Well, I think we're looking at 8 different fire departments that will be appearing today, representing all over Berkshire County and also up into Bennington, Vermont.
Okay, that's good. You know, when I was growing up in Pittsfield, the fire department sponsored this 4th of July parade before the parade committee for many, many years.
They did. They did it for over 25 years. And then 1976 was their last year. They decided, I guess, due to funding and manpower, that they decided not to hold the 4th of July parade under their sponsorship. And then we had a year without a parade, and then we picked it up in 1978, and we've been here ever since.
Come on, get a big smile. Smile.
Oh, I wish they'd stopped that. Okay. And the hook and ladder's going.
There it goes. You know, Matt, with today's weather, the 4th of July Parade Committee was expecting a record-breaking crowd, and I have a feeling, just looking down First Street and up East Street here around Park Square, I think they may have gotten what they expected.
I think so. This is more crowded than we've ever seen it since we've been doing
Definitely
down here.
Now, coming up next is Reverend Willard Durant. The Reverend Willard Durant. And he's this year's local Grand Marshal. He's well known in the community for his local involvement in community services, and we are extremely proud and excited to have him as the Grand Marshal this year.
It's Reverend Durant on the screen.
Welcome back to segment 2 of Parade Preview 2013, live from downtown Third Thursday. Beautiful night here, and let's knock on wood that we have the same kind of weather on July 4th, 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
Have with me now 3 gentlemen that usually are really, really behind the scenes on parade morning. Bernie Avalli, the executive director of PCTV, Norm Schaefer, and Sean Sayre. And before we get having our conversation, I just want to make a comment about the 1988 footage, which was PCT's premier year of doing parade footage. And the last thing that we saw, God bless him, was Reverend Durant, who was the Grand Marshal in 1988. What a wonderful tribute to be able to honor the man once again with archived parade footage as our Grand Marshal. If you're just tuning in, this is Parade Preview 2013. We've made big announcement number 1 of who our honorary Grand Marshal for the 2013 parade is, and that is Mike Joyce. Still to come is the Grand Marshal for the 2013 parade, who's very patiently waiting off camera to be announced to the citizens of Pittsfield and beyond as the 2013 Grand Marshal. But what I wanted to do, and this came out of a board meeting actually, guys, was, hey, everybody sees the parade, they go, oh, this is so easy, some people put it together, and then everybody goes home and they have a 4th of July picnic. I wanted to take the time to really, first of all, thank you guys and the whole staff, even the guys that are still behind the scenes, making sure that this happens, for being our backup, because we know that not everybody can make it to downtown Pittsfield to watch the parade for various reasons, and you guys are our partner to really make sure that the folks at home watch the parade. And I know that through the years that I've been doing it with blood, sweat, and tears, that you guys have the same mission for me. My job, I want the best quality parade that I can put on each and every year, and you guys want to showcase that parade that I'm putting on in the best view. So just wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, what you guys are doing. For you guys, it's a little bit different because you're not worrying about what's happening in August because you're sitting home. But I think for you guys, maybe June 25th is a day that really starts to pick up in the life of the parade for PCTV. So kind of give me an idea of what you guys are doing the week before the parade, and I'll let you guys go at whoever wants to answer these.
Well, I'll start out because I think that the best way for us to do that and have a discussion is, yes, there's sort of a chain of command or some leadership roles that happen within our system, and because it makes sense to keep it organized that way. And certainly Peter and I are the direct coordination between our two organizations. And as he stated, that is the goal. He puts on the best parade he possibly can, and our goal is to try to show that in the best way we possibly can. So we don't handle the content, but we handle the technology to try to do the best to show the content in the best light we can. So at the level we need to do, I bring all my resources to the table as the executive director, and Peter brings all his resources to the table, as was already described to you. And so there is an organizational level. As you can see, it suddenly doesn't just happen on the 4th, and it doesn't happen that way for us either. We have several meetings that are months ago. We'll talk about certain aspects of things that might have changed. We'd love to have everything stay the same, but realistically, it doesn't completely fall in line that way. So we've had construction in the middle of a parade route and so forth. And you saw the 1988 parade that I had produced at that time. And as you can see, that parade looks like it's going the wrong way, because it is, because of construction again. So sometimes we do our best at planning everything, and then suddenly we find something different happens a week or even a few days sometimes before we're ready to go.
How about the hour before?
It's happened too. So
that's where I come in.
There's certainly a nice plan A, and it often turns into B, C, D, and F by the time it happens, and we all try to make it as seamless as possible. And I've got an excellent staff who knows how to roll with it, and can be flexible enough to make it look pretty seamless. And that's so my role is pretty easy sometimes, because I got a very capable, very skilled staff that can make it look very easy. And believe me, there's a lot to it. I can't even tell you. We never measured how many miles of cable, how many. If we laid out, we probably would go all the way down North Street. I don't know. We've tried to guess that a few times, and maybe Sean's got a better guess than I. But Sean engineers that parade, and he's the director of the parade. So he has to worry about some of those really sticky technical details. There's a lot of people that go together to make this. I think we counted all of about 25 people total are working on that particular day for this one event. And Norm, producing on the public access channel, is in control of what is going on that channel that day. And he also floor manages, so he becomes a good go-between. What I'm going to do is relinquish my chair in a minute, because we have another producer this year, because the parade it's such a big event that we want to do as best job we can by making sure some of our roles are well covered. So I'm going to let Sean talk about the technical aspect of things, and Norm talk about some of the producer aspect, and then we'll get the other producer to sit here. By the time we're done, you're going to see that PCT certainly has a structure, but we also work as a team, so we're often interchangeable on that day. I run camera on that day. I'm not the executive director. I just take orders at that point, because hopefully your plan's in motion, my plan's in motion to cover it, and then the delegation happens.
And hopefully they work.
All right, so
thanks, Bernie.
Maybe Sean can talk about some of the setup technically, and Norm can talk about some of the behind-the-scenes things, and we'll get another person to sit here to continue that.
Well, certainly to dovetail off of what Bernie was saying just a minute ago, that we all sort of fall into our individual roles as TV production people that day, and we don't always do the thing that we normally do. So, as Bernie mentioned, I engineer the parade, and that generally involves a lot of technical details, making sure that pieces of equipment connect to each other and work together, and that the cameras are what we call shaded correctly, that when you cut from one camera to another one, they look alike, that they have the same colors, and that they just flow very well together, that we have enough power, that the sound doesn't have a hum in it, you know, those kinds of things, to make sure that our live feed is up and working over 1,000 feet of cable that gets to our nearest live connection. So a lot of those kind of technical details, some of them we work out ahead of time, weeks before the parade, some of them a few days before the parade, we're testing things, and then of course on the day of the parade everything has to work and work correctly. And if sometimes it doesn't, I have been known to, since I also sit in the truck and direct the parade, which I'll go into what that means, and if something really desperately goes wrong that day, I will take off my headset and hand it to the next capable director and jump out and try and fix whatever problem that it is we're having, whether it's a power failure or whether a camera has gone down or something happens like that. So that that's my number one role. In directing the parade, I sort of get a chance to visually decide what people at home are going to see, and what sound comes up at a particular time. And really what I'm doing is relying on the talents of all the other people who are in front of me, and I'm looking at the camera shots. I have 6 or 7 camera shots in front of me, and I'm asking the camera people, who are all very talented people, to get me the right shots at the right time as the parade comes down in front of us. And all at the same time asking for the audio people to bring their talents to the fore and make sure that we can hear everything and really present the best looking and sounding production that we can. And of course, we go on the air at 9:30, we go off the air at 12:30 or whenever the parade's over. So, time is kind of an important thing. We've got to make sure that our pre-production things are done and that they're all ready to go, and that when they play at the proper time, and that the timing of the parade is correct. So, I mean, those are some of the things that go into directing the parade, and it's all happens from a 8x8 box that we call our mobile production vehicle on wheels. So that's probably a best overview I can give you of what happens with me. Now, Norm Schaefer can tell you a little bit about his role on that day.
Well, I make sure it goes on the air so the folks at home can see it on Channel 16. Make sure the window's set right, make sure everything set, and the cable cast plays it all back at the right time. Reschedule it for later playbacks. I make sure the crew is all there, do a crew call. And I'm also Peter's liaison with the parade committee during the course of the parade, and keeping things moving and making sure that they in the truck know what's going on as far as people dropping out of the parade.
I think it's probably also important to say that what Norm has that connection between our truck and the talent as well. And the talent, when I mention talent, I mean the people that are on air, that are calling the parade, that are announcing the parade. And because there's a lot of moving parts involved with, as he mentioned, units of the parade dropping out or moving around or whatever, once we hear that from the parade committee, we have to make adjustments in our truck, and also our announcers have to be on the same page with us. So he's a critical link there between what we're doing and what the announcers say. Because if they don't know what's going on, and here we are on TV right now talking, we don't know what's going on inside the truck unless one of our fantastic crew people here tells us something is about to happen, or there's a roll-in coming, or we have 5 minutes left. Those are the kind of things that we as the talent need to know, but people at home, they don't see that, and it's just that they have to know that that's all an interconnected thing.
And I think the hard part for us is that we're 3 blocks down the street trying to roll out the parade to you guys. So you think it's tough for you guys, at least you're on the same block. We're 3
I can hide in a truck.
We're 3 blocks down the road saying, okay, unit number 25, where did it go? All right, well, be on the lookout. Unit 25 is not really there right now. And then about 7 units later, it's like, oh, here's unit number 25. We're out of order. But, it's taken us years to get to that level to be able to say, hey, it doesn't go out according to Plan A, as Bernie said, and Plan B, C, and D happen to be there. And ironically enough, even though we're trying to communicate better with PCT, it seems to be that every time I want somebody, there's either a drum corps on my side or a drum corps on the other side.
Before, yes.
And it's like, what did you just say? Because it's that's all you hear.
Or I hear
it's
a
like,
very
wow.
garbled Pete Marchetti trying to tell me something through the
I try.
handset there.
And I think probably the most important thing is flexibility. And you probably know this from the parade committee side. We know it from the TV side, that it's live television, it's a live parade. Things are going to happen. And it's what you do with those things when they happen to make things continue and go smoothly, either for the TV audience or for the 100,000 people that you got here watching. That's the important thing.
And the one thing is no matter what's happening, that old show business term, the show must go on.
And it will.
No matter how screwed up things get. You need to keep funneling the units of the parade out, and then you guys need to keep going. But, I think one of the things that we're getting there, because the level of communication, the fact of, if I said, or the parade committee says, no parade anymore, you don't have anything to shoot. And if you say, well, you know, it's too much work and we don't want to get up at 5:30 in the morning on the 4th of July, we don't want to spend 13-hour day the day before, well, then people don't see it at home. So it's important that we continue to build the relationships that we're building over time. It's a little scary July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then we all have to forgive each other on July 5th because it just doesn't always work out exactly the way we want to. But
have you ever had one where nobody's ever dropped out?
No.
There's always been a parade where somebody has.
And in fact, I can already tell you that the reason why you guys don't get the script and the final script until July 3rd, our packets got mailed out on Tuesday, and the phone's already ringing. Oh, I broke my leg. I can't be in the parade. Or, oh, I forgot that I'm going on vacation. I can't be in the parade. So my lineup's already changing. And, you know, people submit an application May 15th. Here it is June 20th, and my lineup's already changing because one reason or another.
When do you start actually planning to put this lineup together?
I usually start about June 1st.
Wow.
And then usually by the 3rd Sunday in June, we're done. And everybody on the parade committee knows that from about June 15th to July 4th, don't talk to me. It's the best way to be. Just don't talk to me because...
And you're a likable fella, Pete. You know?
Well, I might be likable, but there are times that... let's just put it this way. I don't handle stress very well. I know you might find that hard to believe, but I don't handle stress very well. And that's probably not a good thing for the guy that's in charge of running a live parade, but I don't handle stress very well.
We'll write that down. Don't talk to Peter on June 15th. Yeah.
Well, and most of my people.
I would imagine, though, it must be a certain amount of adrenaline that starts flowing, and then all the years that you've put in of doing one particular thing and knowing, having that experience to roll with it and change as you need to, just clicks in after a while.
Does adrenaline cause dry heaves? I got it now. I know.
You know,
what
I believe that might
is.
be one of the symptoms, yes.
So this year you guys are trying something new, so in the last couple of minutes of this segment, we're double producing and triple producing and executive producing. So
it's true.
Let's give Matt a couple of minutes to what are we doing new this year?
As far as things that are different this year, sort of the one of the things on my end is I've been given the tremendous opportunity from Norm Schaefer, who normally does a lot of the production work and puts all the pieces together and makes sure nothing flies apart. Has handed a lot of those responsibilities my way. So I am doing a lot of what they call the producer job. And the role of the producer is, there's sort of this image of the TV producer who's going, you do this, you do that, you do that. It's not like that at all. Actually, the producer has to be the most receptive person in the room. And the big question that I've found myself asking during this parade preparation is, what do you need? Because there's all of these people who are coming together to create this entity that is the parade. And to make it be the best it can be, I've got to make sure, you know, to do this like a baby metaphor, I got to make sure we got the cradle and the diapers and get all of the components put together.
He's a dad, huh?
Yeah. You can tell. So there's all of the components, making sure the crew is ready, making sure the crew gets fed and that everyone is taken care of, making sure that everything that the parade committee wants to communicate, that PCTV needs to know, gets known, making sure all the lines of communication are ready, and doing everything possible to, on that day, step back and hope the wonderful Rube Goldberg machine that is a television program goes off without a hitch.
Now that we're all playing musical chairs, I'm going to stop you because we have one more musical chair here, and he's got the easy part. In 30 seconds or so, tell me, at noontime, how much time are you guys left packing up? And then what do you guys do on July 5th?
At noontime, when the parade ends, we probably have a good hour and a half of just straight out work, wrapping up cables and doing everything we possibly can to get out of there before 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a good 90 minutes of pack up, and on July 5th, we're usually back at the studio. If we happen to have taken anything out of the studio, we're putting it back because there's probably a show on July 5th that we got to shoot in the studio.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We're a busy group, so we don't mind that.
So
We don't have
guys,
that problem.
I just want to thank you from the
you.
Parade Committee for being great partners with us. And stay tuned for segment 3 because we are going to do the grand announcement of the 2013 Grand Marshal, as well as...
Is it me?
No, it's not you.
Is it me?
As well as the announcement of the new 2013 Parade announcer. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, look! I looked into the light, Rob.
But, you know, we wanted to see. Stick your fingers in the fan. How loud it was. What? Yeah.
You can throw them in that same thing.
How loud it is.
Look at the pile here.
This thing blows, I'll tell you. Pardon me? High velocity fan. Okay, ready?
Ready.
The wind test.
Put the shutter on! What?
Did you see him putting the snow fence up already?
No.
They're doing it at Park Square already.
Cool.
I went by this morning and the guys were taking the stuff out of the truck.
I wouldn't try to put this on. Keep it separate. I could put Sean's package.
That's right, because it would have gone out to the relay or the street festival.
Yeah.
Camera 2, scaffold, camera near truck. Okay, yep. Camera 3, handheld camera, Panasonic. This will probably end up being camera number 1.
Okay. That's right, because it's RCU.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I knew I had a number.
Yeah, because 3 is going to go up to the gazebo.
Oh, gazebo. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Just switch. I found a problem on that page right there.
Is there?
Yeah, so I have to rebuild it.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Let's view the command bar. Let's view the...
By the end.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
We're forgetting something. Let's just resign ourselves to that.
Yeah, we'll move on from there.
Go.
We're forgetting something.
Yeah.
What it is will not be apparent until we get up there.
All right, guys, so we're going to meet you up there. Everybody? Put all the cameras underneath the rider truck for now. Just keep them out of the sun. Yeah. Sorry. Couple more. You get one handle, I get the other handle. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh my foot!
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so should we just come on back down and we'll come back up later and check that out?
Why don't we set up the transmitter and then do what we need to for?
Okay.
Oh yeah, you guys want to bring the Sonic? Yeah, bring it. Just in that order.
Okay, we're gonna come back down.
Roger that.
Okay, coming down. See you in a few.
We will be in the blazing sun up there, won't we? Yeah, it's gonna be. Inches away from the blazing sun.
Who else has sunglasses? Anyone?
We were setting up between lightning rods. So we gotta set up.
Welcome back for those of you who are just tuning in. We are live from Third Thursday down in downtown Pittsfield. This is Parade Preview Live 2013. We've already taken you through 2 segments. The first segment was the life and the day of the parade from the Parade Committee standpoint. The second segment of the show was a life and the day from the PCT. And now we're going to talk about your 2013 co-hosts for the parade. Before I do that, I just want to give a shout out to both Larry Kraka, who served for more than 20 years as the parade host, and to Alexandra Warshaw, who also served for many years as our parade co-host. But this year, I'm going to turn to the 2 individuals that are going to co-host the 2013 parade with us to help me with this special honor of announcing the 2013 Grand Marshal. And I hope I don't make her too nervous while we're doing this, but I think we're okay here. So to my immediate left is Jody Cordana, who will be serving as co-host of the parade, and she's filling in the role as the PCT person. And to her left is Pat Kelly, who will be filling the role as the parade person. Folks, welcome to downtown Pittsfield on a glorious night. I hope we can do the same thing for the 4th of July.
Well, I have to say, I feel honored to be selected as co-host for the parade, and I know we have some tough shoes to fill. Alexandra and Larry did this for quite a number of years, and I know Larry for at least 20, so it's quite an honor to be able to follow in their footsteps.
Yes, and I'm really excited to get my chance to co-host the parade this year. I have sat in front of the camera for the Halloween parade for the last 3 Halloweens, and I've worked with PCTV since 2005. This will be my 9th parade working with my 9th 4th of July parade working with PCTV, and it's kind of fun to just get to see this side of it and stare down the cameras this time.
Well, folks, you know, we did this show for a purpose. And we did this show to announce the 2013 Grand Marshal, who PCT and their cleverness, she's actually sitting at this table right now with the 3 of us, and nobody knows who she is at the moment, except for those of us that are here live in downtown Pittsfield who happens to see our wonderful selection sitting with us. But I'm going to start and give you a little bit of bio about our person, and I'm going backwards, because if I started with what I think everyone would know first, everyone would guess it. So this individual has been involved in a number of organizations, such as the Zonta Club, the Helen Barabee Teen Parent Program, United Way Board. She served as a United Way campaign chair. She serves on the Board of Elder Services. She was selected as the State Woman of the Year for Business and Professional Woman. And probably the one that will give her away is she's past president of the Massachusetts Registrar of Deeds and former Registrar of Deeds for almost 30 years. How many people have guessed it? Our 2013 Grand Marshal is Mary Kay O'Brien. Mary, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you. I'm thrilled.
I can go back to maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, picking up the phone and saying, okay, it's my honor to be able to call the Grand Marshal that was selected and say, hi, Mary. Yeah, I know I missed the board meeting for Helen Barabee Teen Parent Program. No, Mary, that's not why I'm calling. Mary, Mary, I'm calling because you have been chosen to be the 2013 Grand Marshal, and there was a little bit of silence for a moment on the end of the phone, and I'm like, oh dear. Mary, are you still with me? And all of a sudden I get the, yes, I'm thrilled and honored. I said, okay, so I take that as that you accept. So it's great to have you with us for downtown Pittsfield to do a grand announcement. Now, this is the first time that I can remember that we've done a live announcement at Third Thursday or any other event for that matter. I know Larry Cracker for years helped us with Larry's Corner, and we did a tape show that then aired, but this is the first time live, and knock on wood, I think we're doing pretty good. So talk to us. How does it feel to be selected 2013 Grand Marshal?
Well, it's just a most unexpected honor, and one, as I told you, I'm thrilled to have. I was sitting there that evening with my husband, and as you said, when I heard Peter Marchetti's voice, I associated him with the current boards that we're both on, and so my mind went in that direction, and then, as it turned out, it was an invitation or a designation as Grand Marshal of the 4th of July Parade. And since that is one of my favorite events, Every year we sit up by the hospital on the corner of Wacona and enjoy the parade every single year for as long as I remember. So I'm thrilled.
I think it's going to be great for you and great for many folks who have watched and supported you over the years. You know, we look at Grand Marshal as the opportunity to turn to a community leader in a number of ways, and I think you certainly wear that hat by the number of boards and commissions that you've served on. And I even do think in the bio that was provided to me, you and I both followed the same footsteps that we sat on the city's conservation commission.
That's correct.
At one point in time. Now that is a really dry subject, I think.
Yeah.
But
wet or dry, it was there.
But so, you know, I think the one thing that we have talked about off camera is what are the roles and responsibilities of the Grand Marshal, and for you it's enjoy your day, sit in the 1969 Cadillac convertible that will be provided for you, and practice your wave. Practice the wave for all the folks that are
Do you want
on the parade
the
route.
queenly one or the...
Whatever one you want.
Yahoo!
You're in charge. You can do the
You'll
Yahoo.
have to lift weights for a while.
But
I will.
you know, I think it's we're honored to have you, and that you've accepted, and you folks, we're honored to have you as well. Any questions for Mary? Let's put her to the test now that we have her here.
Okay.
She's in the hot seat. Now, I'm not Dan Valenti, but she's in the hot seat. So
Well, I can only say that I've known Mary for a long time. She's just a long-time friend, and I remember when we both served on the local Democratic committee together.
That's right.
Back in the 80s, and she was just telling me just before we went on air that the Grand Marshal belongs to really important people in Berkshire County, not somebody like me. I said, Mary, you are one of the big important people in Berkshire County.
No.
You deserve this. So
I've certainly impressed my children this time around.
I was just going to mention, now this has been a secret.
It has.
So it must have been difficult for you to only confine it to very few people that would keep it.
It was a secret, but it almost wasn't. One of my daughters, who wasn't aware of the fact that it was a secret because she had heard it through Facebook and her sister's phone calls, put it on Facebook. Fortunately, she only put it on the family Facebook, which encompassed only maybe 480 people.
Oh, that's all. Okay, it's still a secret then.
I mean, I'll take it back to the year. It was a really, really big secret. The year that Dan Dillon was announced Grand Marshal of the parade, and I think the big secret was who didn't know, because as it was, you know, please don't tell anybody, because this is something that, you know, we want to announce in our time, and to a certain extent, we do choose a community leader that we think shows leadership qualities and works for the community, and I think that listening to Pat, I hope you don't sell yourself short as someone who has given more than her time to the community, and you know, as preparing for this, and this has been a new experience for me, because as much of a secret is, I had to leak it to the press to make sure that we were all on the same page, because when you're trying to do a live event, so the press has known for a couple days the direction that we're going and who it was and the information, and so if you don't mind, let's just talk a little bit about your life, because we did, through the help of your friends who helped us put the Grand Marshal page to the parade booklet. It's our understanding, or my understanding, that you have a husband of 59 years.
That's right.
And so I think that's something to be...
Well, it's been a wonderful 59 years. He always jokes that it's been a wonderful 35 or something like
well,
that.
Well, that's a good thing. Stay young. Stay young.
Yes, yes.
And if my memory serves me correctly, there's 8 children?
No, we had 7 children. 7
children.
daughters.
7
yes.
daughters.
Wow.
Well, I hope it says 7 daughters. It came from some of your closest friends. So if we missed it, we just gave you another daughter. But I'm sure
better to add one than eliminate one.
So, you know, again, as we're wrapping up our show here, I want to thank the folks from PCT for giving us the opportunity to do this event live from downtown Pittsfield. I want to thank Pat and Jody for joining me, although they didn't have much time to talk, but they have 2 hours to talk on the 4th of July. So
let's get started now, Jody. Yeah, let's do it now.
And so, but that doesn't give you permission to talk for the whole entire 2 hours. We want to see the units and we want to hear the unit. So
But
you
we
can't
have so
just
much to
you just
say.
can't talk for 2 hours.
We've already been writing a script.
That's right.
I wrote it for you. Don't do that to me. And Mary, once again, we are honored to have you as a 2013 Grand Marshal, and I think you were here when we talked about it before. But this year, the Parade Committee has also done an honorary Grand Marshal, and the 2013 honorary Grand Marshal is Mike Joyce.
Oh, I knew Mike well.
And
Yes,
so
yes.
you will have the honors of just post-military, doing your queenly wave or your, hey, everybody, look at me. Whatever wave you want. We want you to be comfortable. We want you to be happy. And Mike Joyce will be with the Parade Committee and the Oldies but Goodies gang at the end of the parade. So all I can say is thank you for accepting our invitation. I hope you enjoy your day and make it all that you can make it.
Can I very quickly thank all of the Parade Committee volunteers who have done this yeoman's work for all these years and do put on the best parade in the whole country on the 4th of July. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Well,
Congratulations.
Folks,
thank you.
Pat and Jody, thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you like your new role on parade morning. And for all you folks at home, thank you for joining us tonight, and can tell you this, it won't be a secret much longer, because I'm sure that Mary has lots of people that she now wants to tell, and I don't blame her. It is a great honor, and spill your guts all over the place. So, until parade morning, it's bye for now. We'll see you parade morning, although we probably won't look as good parade morning after 5 hours of running around. But until then, hope you have a good couple weeks, and we'll see you 2 weeks from today, July 4th at 10 a.m.